Anyway, Texas Republicans vote to arrest Democrats blocking redistricting plan. Texas Republicans have voted for the arrest of dozens of Democrat legislators who fled the state in an attempt to block a plan to redraw electoral boundaries. Republican Governor Greg Abbott ordered state troopers to locate, arrest, and return to the House of Chambers any member who has abandoned their duty to Texans. Abbott has also threatened to charge the absent Democrats with bribery if they raise public money to cover the daily fine they incur for boycotting the chamber. The redrawn congressional map would create 5 more Republican-leaning seats in the U.S. House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., where Republicans hold a slim majority. At least 2/3 of the 150 members state legislative body in Texas must be present to proceed with the vote. The quorum became unreachable after more than 50 Democrat lawmakers left the state. Most of the Democrats fled to Illinois. The state's governor, J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat, said on Tuesday, "We're fighting for democracy. There are no rules anymore." At a press conference, Democrats from Texas and Illinois, as well as party leaders, spoke about the ongoing fight. Make no mistake about it, the Democratic Party didn't start this fight, but we're not going to roll over, Democrat National Committee Chair Ken Martin said. They want to fight. We're going to give it to them. We're going to put every option on the table. The Democrats said they plan to stay away from Texas for 2 weeks until the end of special legislative session. Monday's vote was mostly symbolic as the warrants only apply within Texas state lines. The move empowers the chamber's sergeant-at-arms and the state troopers to arrest the absent lawmakers and deliver them to the state Capitol building in Austin. They would not face any civil or criminal charges as a result of the warrant. Texas Democrat lawmaker Ron Reynolds told BBC News from Chicago on Monday that the arrest threat was nothing more than a scare tactic.
I mean, the whole thing is like, they're coming out and they're saying the quiet parts out loud. You know what I'm saying? You have GOP State Representative Brian Harrison. He's like the voters aren't the priority. It's to make sure the Republicans hold on to a majority. And then people can, on both sides of the aisle, you can say something, but at the end of the day, the Democrats fled Texas to save voters' rights, and Republicans fled D.C. to save pedophiles.
That's a great point, man, that you just made right there. I think people need to pay attention to that. I wouldn't want to ask you to say it again because I know it was, but that was a very good point. They did leave D.C. early in order not to vote on the Epstein files. Yeah. Now they're angry that Democrats left Texas to not have 5 new districts redrawn in Republicans' favor. You got Jasmine Crockett, who was drawn out of her district. She basically, they asked all the Democrats, where do you guys live at? So they're supposed to look at that and take that into consideration when they're trying to redraw this map. And they drew all these guys out of their districts. So they're no longer live in their districts. So we have to remember this. Most times, these type of things, all the congressional map is basically drawn up from the census, which happens every 10 years. So that's when they redraw. That's when most people go in every 10 years. States go in and they redraw, and they let the government know, the centralized government in D.C. know, hey, this is what's going on. This is how we're redrawing our maps. This is how many people came into our state. This is how many people we have. This is how many seats we're supposed to get from that. So what they did was they stopped halfway through the cycle, which is 2025. Halfway through the cycle, they stopped and they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to redraw our maps right now, because you know why? Because we got 2026 isn't looking too good for us right now. Yeah. This is what Trump came out and said. It's not looking too good for us right now because all the laws, things I put in place. So let's go ahead and try to see if we can gerrymander this vote. Now, this is what's going on here.
If your policies were good, you wouldn't have to gerrymander anything because your constituents and everybody would like it. You're seeing that, look, you have bad policies. The job growth, America's not growing. The jobs aren't coming. You know what I'm saying? People are losing more jobs than we're gaining. So with all that stuff going on right now, they're like, hey, we have to stay in power because they know their policies aren't good. If you had good policies and you believed in what you were doing, you wouldn't have to gerrymander. You would let the voters speak for it. But now what they're doing is taking the vote out of your hands. Think about in Florida. They're like, hey, we're just going to cancel the whole vote.
The whole entire vote, because they understood what the overall Republican policies are bad. People are going to look at that and say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to vote against you. So we say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give myself one more year. I'm going to give myself one more year. Hopefully everything cleans itself up. Things get better. And within that year, maybe we don't even have to have a vote anymore.
Or you call martial law and no one has to leave.
You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. This is just sad to see Texas become this type of a state. Then they call out the people to be arrested. It's not arrested as a criminal or a civil thing, just arrested and brought back here so they can face justice. Of
or
what
they're going to
kind?
take their jobs away from them, like they were voted in there.
Of what kind? So the people voted them in, and now you're trying to take their jobs away by redistricting their maps, man. Not by anything fair. What you're trying to do also is take away the power of your voters. Oh, let me redistrict this place right here. Cut out some of these black voters, some of these other Latino. This is what you're doing. Oh, some of these other Latino voters, place them over here. So now they don't have a majority over here anymore. This is what you're doing in America. This is what America has become. People have to understand. I always talk about population. I talk about everything. There's a swing happening in the world from what was in power before, was Western world, to what's going to be in power now, which is people from a diverse group of people from all over the true world. If a person say a world war, it's going to truly be a world war. Now, all continents will be included in this, except say Antarctica. You get what I'm saying? So we have to understand that this is why they're doing these things. They're trying to find any way that they can to make sure that it's not a part of this new wave of doing business.